Hey everyone, welcome back to the Daily Blend Show, episode number 42 of the show. And this is a special edition. We're going to be doing kind of an adventure series story. So this is like not, current events. It's not sort of the Friday Top 5. This is really talking about an adventure that I went on and just sort of wanted to share that experience. And funny enough, it's an adventure into Chicago. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, you live in Chicago. Why are you talking about it? Well, yeah, I do live in Chicago, but I live in the suburbs and I don't know it that well. I've only been here for a couple of years, and most of that time I was a consultant. So my knowledge of the city is pretty minimal at best. But the West Loop is one of those neighborhoods I've spent the most time with, mostly just because it's close to the train, and I had a buddy that lived there, Negroni Greg, who we'll be having on the show probably in future episodes coming up pretty soon for a project we've got coming out together. But let's talk about the adventure going to Notre, the boutique in the West Village. So to talk about this part of the story, we got to first talk about Negroni Greg, or Greg for short. So Greg used to live in the West Loop, and I would always go visit him after work and on the weekends. And, I'd always be running to meet him because I'm late from work, or running to the train because I got to make the train. And we'd always pass by this store, Notre. And for whatever reason, I just never had the chance to go in. I just always would forget to leave time. But I'd see the amazing, apparel and shoes from the store windows when I was running by, and I was like, man, I want to go there. And so I was, pretty excited when I saw this advertisement or video from Nike with the two founders, and I believe they're two founders, talking about this limited edition dunk they had done in a sort of blue and dark blue color scheme. And then the second one is in this more like tan or cream white, gray, I guess, if you will. That's probably a more better description. More better. That's a word, right? And I was super fired up because I wanted to get a pair of these shoes. I just like buying, some shoe that has a storyline versus just, hey, it's cool looking. And I thought they did a really great job of designing the shoe with the different materials on the inside and outsides. They inputted their logo with the two hands for the community. On the left shoe, there is a name tag because it's a throwback, I guess, to sort of a working class person that is Chicago. I think that's what the two folks said in the YouTube video. So anyway, so I took an L in terms of the shoes, if you will. And then fast forward to a couple weeks ago, Greg was back in town, and ironically enough, we met up and had iced Negronis, which were like a slushy, I guess, and they were really delicious. And I didn't have to be home for another hour, and I was like, you know what? I haven't seen the West Loop since COVID, and I just wanted to see what was going on in that neighborhood and, maybe go check out some stores. So I drove over and parked and walked into Notre, and I was just talking to some of the staff and just asking some questions about the store, and because I didn't know a ton about the store, or the founders. I think I brought up the limited edition run, and I was telling the story how I really wanted a pair, and I was kind of gutted that I couldn't find time or couldn't make it down here. And Amanda, the manager, was like, hey, if I can find you a pair in your size, do you want them? I was like, yeah, just call me. So, I gave, Amanda and the team my number, and, I was like, all right, see you later. And, I was pretty pumped up that there was a chance to, secure a pair, but not expecting much. So I think Wednesday that week, I get a phone call from, a 312 or no, it was actually a New York number. And I was sort of surprised. I was like, who's calling me from New York? And I picked up, and it happened to be the manager from the store. And she was like, hey, I'm not a New Yorker. I live in Chicago, but I have a New York number. And I've got a pair of shoes for you if you want them. And I was like, yep, but I can't be there for a while. And she's like, well, could you be here tomorrow? I was like, no, like I can't be there till this weekend. And I've got my kid's birthday on Saturday. Otherwise, I'd get there on Saturday. So I'm going to come in on Sunday. And I'm telling you about my kid's birthday because there's a fun part of the story at the end that ties back. So I was like super pumped to get these shoes. I didn't know if I was getting the white ones or the blue ones, and I didn't really care. So, it was my kid's birthday the day before. And so we had some leftover cupcakes and goodie bags. So we drove down there, and for a person who usually takes planes and trains, I sort of forgot that my car's air conditioning was broken. And so my kid's in the back seat, sweating her face off. I'm just pumping her full of water, and I'm just ripping Diet Cokes to like manage this heat. And we get down there, and we're both hotter than all get out. And I made the mistake of going to the store first instead of getting ice cream for her first. So lesson learned for like any sneakerhead dads out there, do the ice cream first. Always get the ice cream first. And so I walk into Notre. They've got the pair. I'm like just over the moon. I'm like totally into these shoes. And, I'm trying to be nice, and my kid is just harassing me to go get ice cream. So, like I said, go get the ice cream. I was super pumped, and I said thanks. And I think I even said, like, if you can, find a blue pair ever, just let me know because I got the white pair. It was just kind of cool to go through this experience. It was like, probably only a couple minutes, but I got to know a couple of the team members down there, and it was like just a human experience of connecting with a city, connecting with people that I haven't done since really moving to Chicago, like in that many situations. It always feels like a very transactional relationship where it's like in and out, like to get a cup of coffee or something. And as someone who used to go to Standard down in Atlanta and, really enjoyed like that shopping experience and feeling part of a community, that's kind of how I felt at Notre. The store has like a vibe where you can kind of like, it's big enough and you can kind of walk around and see some art and see some books, and it just has like this vibe, for me at least, that is very inviting. And to the team, they're like world-class like hospitality, real customer centric, where some of these boutiques I've been into, like either the staff's like kind of a bunch of like egomaniac, like elitists. This is far from it. Like, just people are extremely friendly. My daughter ended up getting some Air Max stickers and an Air Max freshener for the car. So to the team at Notre, thanks a lot for like making a fantastic experience. And I've since recording this podcast, I've gotten the blue pair as well, and can't wait to get more gear and apparel from the team. So it feels great to kind of share this first, and I'm using air quotes and you can't see it, adventure. As someone who travels pretty regularly with their job, not being able to get on a plane or train was sort of gut-wrenching for me. I just enjoy the experience and kind of human interaction. Obviously, meeting the team at Notre was great. Hopefully, the pandemic will come to a close sooner than later, and we'll get to travel a bit more and share some of those adventures around the globe, but also around my local neighborhood. If you've got any recommendations of places to go check out in Chicago or anywhere else for that matter, send them to me at Reed Dailey on Twitter and Instagram. And hopefully you liked this episode. And if so, hit that subscribe button on Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcast rather, and Google Podcasts, or head to dailyblend.com and check out the shoes. We got some pictures up there. And look forward to catching you on the next episode of the Daily Blend Show. And whatever you're doing, go hopefully find a cocktail, a glass of wine, or pour yourself a Negroni and sit back and relax, and we'll catch you soon. Thanks for tuning in.